Welcome to Unit 5. I hope you're enjoying this learning journey that we're on in terms of knowing more and understanding more about what industrial hygiene is as a professional discipline. So you've got a good foundation built, I hope, by now, and what we're going to do for the next couple of units is delve into some very specific types of hazards. And Unit 5 starts off with occupational noise. And I'll tell you that besides air sampling and looking at airborne contaminants of things, if we had to look at other types of what we call exposures, probably the one that is most pervasive is noise. And as you will learn in the written lecture, when we think about occupational noise that becomes a concern to us, we typically think right around 85 decibels. And the guideline that I provide to you in the written lecture is 85 decibels is the ambient noise level when two people standing 3 feet apart have to raise their voices to have a conversation. Now that seems very subjective, and of course we're going to say approximately 85 decibels, but that should provide you a nice benchmark by which to understand things like the requirement for a hearing conservation program, which kicks in at a time-weighted average of 85 decibels, or 90 decibels, which is what we call the permissible exposure limit for noise that's published by OSHA. So noise is a great case study for us to look at relative to further understanding industrial hygiene. So it's pervasive, and it's also instructive from another perspective. As you read the material in the textbook, you will learn that this idea of hearing loss is something that can occur dramatically or acutely with some sort of sudden noise exposure, like an explosion, or it can occur gradually over time. Now, there is a term we use for the amount of hearing loss that occurs over time, or the process by which that occurs, and it's called presbycusis. Okay, so naturally we all lose our hearing as we get older. So if you think about being in the work environment and being exposed to noise, what we really try to accomplish with a hearing conservation program and trying to control noise at its source is we don't want the work environment and those noise exposures to speed up the rate at which we lose our hearing. So we naturally lose our hearing over time, and if we have exposures that reach a certain level, that hearing loss can be accelerated. And of course our concern would be having that occur as a part of our work. So the risk associated with hearing loss is very interesting to try to understand and get someone to appreciate, because if you have a disease process that occurs over a long period of time, the incentive for a person right now to wear hearing protection can be quite a challenge, as opposed to someone that would lose their hearing as a result of an acute exposure, the example we've been talking about being an explosion. So this really becomes a great challenge for us as far as demonstrating the risk of noisy work environments. In fact, our hearing organs are very, very good and adapt very well and recover very well from noise exposures. So trying to sell someone on the importance of taking precautions each and every day, as we said, can be a real challenge. So I look forward to you learning more about occupational noise exposures, how we measure them, what some of the regulations are, and so forth. So enjoy learning more about occupational noise.